Hello my friends, we have some interesting news from the Bakhmut city, the hardest place if we speak about the frontline war. And today the Ukrainian army showed that they are able to fight back and push Russians away from the previously gained positions in this hard urban environment as in Bakhmut. So let's go to the timeline. It was yesterday and today Russia advanced, taking the railroad under their control and even crossing it into this residential area. Also they moved from the north part and from the south. But Ukrainian forces started the counterattack in that area and were able to push Russians away to this railroad. So it was before and it is like that today, and also they pushed them from this area, which is obviously good. Well, in general, yes, Russia gained more territories, but they tried to get those under their control and it didn't happen. With the heavy losses, they were forced to retreat from this area and Ukraine continued to resist. Every street in the Bakhmut city is the defense line for Ukrainians. And still, it's very hard to predict when Russia will take Bakhmut city fully under their control, but slowly, in general, they are taking the territory. But that task is way more complicated than Wagners thought before, even compared to Soledar, because Bakhmut is much bigger. So this is the tactical map. As you can see, those forces now are the Russian regular army forces on the north part and also on the south. So Wagners were replaced over there, and they thought that they can take their reinforcements, send them to Bakhmut and attack with a much bigger force. So today they thought to get territories across the railway road, but were pushed away by Ukrainian forces, as we saw on a previous map. And this is the tactical map for yesterday. Before that major advancement, you can see that Russia moved closer to the railroad, and I guess they took this part still today, and moving little by little to this park, which is actually the military base with some sort of the barracks, but that base is totally demolished by the Russian artillery. So the main parts where Ukrainians may cover is this residential area over here, this one on the north part, and the main thing that we are keeping control over Kromove, because it's the main crossroad for supplies. And before we continue with other maps, let me tell you about the partner of my channel and also the sponsor of my channel, the Atlas VPN. They recently came out with a big deal for my subscribers and viewers, where you can get the huge discount and get the access for the Atlas VPN Premium for just $183 per month. The deal is time limited, so hurry up and join the club. It has military encryption standards, strongly securing your data and your devices from being reached by government, unwanted ads, and also hackers. Yes, you may say hackers, why do they need my account? Well, actually, my friends, I got personal experience that my pilot blog channel dedicated to aviation was hacked. Then I was using public Wi-Fi. All of my videos were deleted, and after that hackers told me to send Bitcoin for them and they will open access to my own account. I didn't transfer anything and just started the new channel with the same name. And obviously after that case I use the VPN all of the time, and for me personally Atlas VPN is the best VPN out there. Atlas VPN is very fast. It guarantees you the best streaming connection, then you watch movies on Netflix. And also by changing your virtual location you may get access to watch all of the movies, all of the series on Netflix platform. It helped me a lot. Atlas VPN helps me to access some of the websites that are blocked in my country. Patreon website is one of them, my friends. And now please check out the link in a video description just below. Join the 30 years offer for $183 per month and you'll have 83% of discount. You also have 3 months for free. The offer is time limited with my personal link, so please hurry up to join the club. This is the satellite image of the Bakhmut city. Here the railroad goes across the city, and I'm gonna tell you why defending the western side of the Bakhmut is a little bit easier compared to the other side, the central one. Well, actually it's because of the hills that are in this area where Ukraine may put some artillery systems or mortars. Over here you can see there are some niches over there. Terrain may help Ukrainians to withstand the Russian fire on assault, and the western side of the city is just a little bit higher compared to the central part of the city. And attacking the high ground is always much much worse for the attacking side and much better for the defending side. And here you can see some of the fields, and I guess Ukrainians use this road over here near to Kromova. Kromova is over here, and the crossroad is still under Ukrainian control, but not far away we have the secondary road, which is actually the dirt road, and during this time of the year it's very muddy and you need to have the off-road capability to go and supply the Bakhmut city. And I don't see the other way how to supply the city. Well, you can go across the fields, but actually it's not a good idea. Well, we have some of the engineering equipment and we can actually make the dirt roads over here somewhere also to the city, but it's a little bit risky in this area because Russians are not far away. And this is Avdiivka. Russia still tries to create some sort of the encirclement of the town, but unsuccessfully. They got new vectors over here of their attacks, but still there is no any movement compared to last week, and also they are able to penetrate the Ukrainian defense lines in the city itself, or it's better to say the town. And also you may spot some of the natural obstacles like the lakes on the north, and obviously there are some small rivers in that area that create the natural obstacle for the Russian attacking forces. Plus we have the open field area between Vodyane that Russia took under their control and Avdiivka, and Russia is not able to move forward over here because Ukraine mined the field. So the situation is very similar to Vuhledar, where Russian attack forces were totally demolished by Ukrainian artillery. So still I'm quite calm about Avdiivka. No movement, no news, good news. And about Crimea on the north, since Russia moved like few hundred meters lately over here, there is no any change for today. And now let's go for the latest news and events. Alright, about the Ukrainian counterattack that we are all waiting for. According to the Washington Post article, it was postponed by Ukrainians, and maybe it will not happen during the springtime. They based their opinion on the leaked documents from the United States. Partially, it's been confirmed by the Ukrainian Prime Minister Shmyhal, who attended Canada recently, and he said that Ukraine plans the counterattack for the summertime. Well, it's hard to say whether it's true or not. Many of our officials and Western officials before said about April, May. And this counteroffensive we all think about was well advertised by any of the side, including Russians. Otherwise, I don't see the reason why do we get Leopard 2 tanks or Challenger 2 tanks and other assaulting equipment. So for sure the counteroffensive from Ukraine will start, but we don't know exact date. I still think that it will happen in May or late April. Why is it better to start it during the springtime? Because Russia started to build new defense lines on the south because they do afraid to lose the Melitopol city, which is the key city to get the access to Crimea or other supply lines in the region. If Russia loses Melitopol, they will be separated into two parts, and that will create the supply chaos in the Russian army. And with that disastrous separation of the Russian army, the front lines will just collapse up to Crimea, and they're building 120 kilometers more defense lines in this sector. But the trench itself is not a huge obstacle for the advancing forces. It should be equipped with infantry and also armored vehicles and tanks. Plus there should be artillery systems, and as we know, Russia isn't desperate with artillery shells. So the success of the Russian defense is very questionable. However, also from the leaks we understand that the United States of America is looking closely on that stuff, and they're quite concerned about the success of the Ukrainian counterattack on that side. At least we have the article about it also in Washington Post, and it's based on the leaked documents. It says that Ukraine is out of the trained troops, which is very questionable because our forces went for the training in UK and many other countries. And also it says that Ukraine is in lack of the S-300 air defense rockets. Well, you know that I have my own connections, and I spoke with my mate who is serving in the air defense, and he says that there is no problem with the rockets. So why this misinformation was shared on the Washington Post? Because it's based based on the leaked documents, and now I understand that probably those documents were for Russia, to say them relax, Ukraine is not going to attack very soon, and even allied countries as United States are in a great doubt about the successful mission of Ukrainians. And what Russian generals are good at is not doing anything, or doing everything completely wrong. The same generals were in command and they tried to get the Kyiv under control and totally messed up. It's just my idea about those leaked documents, and we'll see in nearby perspective who was right, me or Washington Post. The similar article in CNN, United States is pessimistic that Ukraine can quickly end the war against Russia. I'm also pessimistic about that. As far as Putin got the power, he would try to get Ukraine into his orbit of the influence, and he would try again to use the forces on Ukrainian territory. So actually this war may last many years, but for the future counterattack of Ukrainian forces, I'm quite optimistic. There are some reports that Russia is moving the personnel from the nuclear power plant in Energodar, and Rosatom got the warning for their employees that soon, with a high probability, there should be the evacuation of everyone from that city and nuclear power plant. It could be potentially just the routine change of the staff, but also it could be the preparation for the goodwill gesture. William Burns, the director of the CIA, says that Putin believes that he still can demolish Ukraine. He also says that the future counteroffensive of Ukraine is very important because the progress of the armed forces of Ukraine will form the perspective for the peace talks. Well, the good way to start the peace talks is just to return the occupied territory to Ukraine. I think that's the only way. If some of the territory will stay within the Russian occupation, that creates the future problems for Ukraine, and probably this war may continue for many years. Because if Russia gained enough resources, they might try the Kyiv assault again, and that could be successful. And also he said that Putin was wrong about the estimates in Ukraine before the war, so he didn't really expect the huge resistance as Ukrainians did, and we got the confirmation about it since the beginning of the war because of the stupid Russian attacks on the Kyiv territory, just forming the columns, including militia that is mostly used to seize the protests, not to fight on the front lines. Right, good news about the Spanish Leopards. We're gonna get them very soon. In a couple of weeks, they will be delivered by sea. I guess via the Black Sea, so they may go to Romania and after that to Ukraine. Plus, Spain will send around 20 armored vehicles. And the Russian parliament asks to introduce the special military tax on people. It should be around 3% and will put billions of rubles into the Russian military. Great one for the Russian corruption. They do not only eliminate their people in the war, they also cut them like sheep. Perfect country. As it was reported by some of the Hungarian media resources that the United States will introduce the sanctions on Orban and his friends in Hungary for supporting Russia. Honestly, it should have been done long time ago. My friends, Hungarians are great, but their government, wow. And more information from the Washington Post. They obtained the satellite images of the Russian trenches in Crimea. As you can see, they've done more or less correctly. They're not the straight lines, so they're used for infantry, but still, you know, it's the flat ground, no trees, nothing, no hills, so they're very good targets for Ukrainian artillery, and if they're not equipped properly, they will not solve anything. And for me, it's a mystery why they put the defense lines near to the sea, because we don't have the landing ships to go on the shore. Well, maybe small boats, but Russia has the marine fleet, so they're capable to withstand the attack from the sea. Why building this? I'm out of clue. Especially using the artillery systems over there. They should be used on the front lines. They're in lack of those systems, but they put them near to the sea. And just recently, according to those leaked documents, South Korea refused to give the ammunition to Ukraine. Well, what Americans did, they purchased 500,000 artillery shells from South Korea and will deliver them obviously to Ukraine. So officially South Korea do not supply their weaponry to Ukraine. But there are some issues with artillery shells from the European Union. For now, France is blocking the deal and they've decided to put also missiles into it. I'm sure that this issue will be solved and Ukraine will start to obtain their artillery shells massively from the European Union countries. And for now, it's just the politician games and the interest of the shell producing companies. My friends, now press the like to this video, and also if you want to support my channel, you may go to my personal link where you may find the Atos VPN Premium with a huge discount, especially for my subscribers and viewers. The big deal is time limited, so hurry up to join the club. My friends, I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are and have a great time.